So now it's time to have a deep dive in the client side and server side rendering. So let's see. This is client side rendering and this is server side rendering. We will discuss more detail about that and we will show you the app. But thing is that, but both are not the ultimate solution for Next.js. Ultimate solution is the React server component. We will discuss for that afterwards. So first of all, let's discuss about the client-side rendering. So client-side rendering is thing is that here is depicted clearly. At the build time, we have the index HTML, script JavaScript file, and style CSS. So when it renders to the web browser, it renders as the empty HTML file. So bare minimum file. That's why the necessary things for SEO, it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of time to get fast contentful paint, but by this time when the Google bot or crawler comes, it gets nothing. That's why he cannot index his page. So it compromises with the SEO, right? But what happens in the server side rendering? In the server side rendering, each page will initiate a request to app server where it dynamically renders and serves full HTML page. You see, full HTML page is not served over here. That's why it becomes empty. Later, JavaScript, when JavaScript is downloaded, it creates a DOM. JavaScript take the responsibility to create the HTML and necessary things, okay, to have the good UI. But here, things is different. In the server-side rendering, not like CSR, each page will initiate a request to app server. You see, here is a it divided and it's sending the HTML also. You see the page HTML, but here it has no HTML. So it gets the HTML. So it gets fast contentful paint early. So whenever Google bot or crawler comes, it gets the instant page information, right? So he can index the page. But it has the drawbacks. Okay. But first of all, I want to show you. You see, this is the React component, fresh new React component, create React app. So if I search here by going to the page resource, no, its server is not running. Maybe again I am refreshing as no, I have to stop this first because two things are running on the same port. That's why it's creating problem. Okay, I'm stopping the Next.js. Now React.js is running. Okay, so if I go to the page source, you see the everything is not being rendered on the bare minimum things. It has nothing. So it has no necessary things for the Google crawler. Okay. Okay, so if I look for this line over here, I will not get. You see, I will not get. So it is not good for SEO. So it has the drawbacks. You see, yesterday I have discussed. Can you remember? So client-side rendering with CSR, rendering happens entirely on the client browser. It only happens in the browser, not in the server. The HTML sent by the server contains minimal content. So it has the minimal content, okay, bare minimum. Okay, and React takes over to populate the, and later JavaScript has been downloaded and then React takes the responsibility for creating DOM after loading JavaScript. Okay, so Google crawler comes and it gets nothing, adequate information needed for his indexing the page, which is needed for SEO. So it SEO performance has been compromised. But it has the pros: enable rich interactivity and dynamic update without full page reloads. Rich interactivity and dynamic updates without full page reloads. Faster page transition. Once the JavaScript bundle is loaded, subsequent navigation is very fast. So initially it is slow, but when it renders, it becomes fast. update parts of the page. No load on the server. Since rendering happens in the browser, the server is relieved from generating the HTML for each request. The server doesn't take care of rendering anything. Only browser takes the responsibility. So cons, slower initial load. The browser must download, parse, and execute the JavaScript before. As initially the page is bare minimum, so it takes a lot of time. It needs to download the JavaScript, then it will take the responsibility. So initially it takes time, but once it is reloaded, then everything becomes fast. So loading spinner until it happens. SEO challenges. Search engine may have difficulty crawling client rendered content since it is not present in the initial HTML. So search engine have difficulty crawling client rendered content since it is not present. So title meta tag is not present over there. Okay. Higher bundle size. Large JavaScript files need to be downloaded for the page to work properly. So as HTML is not there, so JavaScript is responsible for creating the DOM and it needs to be downloaded. So large JavaScript file is needed. On the other hand, server-side rendering. The SSR, the HTML is generated on the server for each request. When a user requests a page, the server sends fully rendered HTML. HTML has not been sent initially, but first time they are sending the HTML followed by the JavaScript for interactivity. So it has the improved SEO since the content is fully rendered with the page is served. Search engine can crawl the HTML. So it can crawl the HTML. Faster time for fast paint. So fast contentful paint, the user sees the content quickly because HTML is rendered on the server and sent directly to the browser. So all the things are done by the server and it is sent by the server and instantly user sees the page and Google crawler see the title, metadata, everything needed for SEO. Okay, reduce JavaScript load. The browser gets fully rendered HTML, reducing the amount of JavaScript needed for the initial content display. But it has the cons, slower on-demand rendering. For each request, the server needs to render the HTML, which can slow every time it needs to render. So frequently it is doing so. That's why on-demand rendering is time-consuming. Increased server load. The server does more work on each request since it needs to render the page on demand. As it is happening in the server, so it increases the load in the server. But server has another duties. Along with that, he has to render the HTML and everything. Hydration cost. After receiving the HTML, the browser must load and hydrate the React app, adding interactivity, which can cause performance overhead. So it has the performance overhead. Okay. But both has the drawbacks and we have the better solution for Next.js and I will discuss it in the next tutorial. Okay, so again I am showing you in the picture. So initially client-side component, no HTML is there, that's why title and meta tag are missing. So it is not friendly for SEO because SEO is needed HTML page and then it's meta tag, title tag, everything. But it maybe comes later, but Prolog does not need to wait for a long time because it takes a huge time to render. But once render, it is a bit faster. Okay. But here HTML page is serving instantly. That's why when Google crawler comes, they are getting it instantly, so can index the page at the first content page. But both are not. But it has another cost also. It renders two types with every render. It renders in the server. It renders in the client also. So we have the better solution. React server component in the ultimate solution. I will discuss these things in the next tutorial. Okay. Thank you very much. Stay tuned, stay connected. If you like the video, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you very much. See you soon. A little bit announcement. You can get a tremendous and superb course. This is my course. MERN stack, Typescript, Ecommerce, Docker, RTKquery, and along with deploy. It's a nice and huge course. So its price is $44, but I can give you for my students, I can give it only $9. Okay, so it will last for 5 days. but it will get, you will get $9 if the course is needed. You can contact with me, just $9.99. Okay, so it's a super course, tremendous course. So you will able to learn a lot of things. You will get Typescript, e-commerce, Docker, RTK query, and deployment. So it is built on React 9.18, Node.js 20, and role-based automatic redirect. So I will give the discount link and coupon code and course link in the description box. You can come and check, and don't hesitate to grab the course. Thank you very much.